Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my podcast. My name is Lynette. Today, we're going to talk about living your best life. First, I'm going to stop and share with you that I had an epiphany myself that I've been looking for a brand for years, actually. I wasn't even totally clear what a brand was. And somehow this living your best life came to me, and I'm going to adopt that as my brand because that's a goal here with all these episodes, step by step, building yourself into a happier, healthier person, into the person that you want to be. And in doing so, I'm making this podcast entitled Live Your Best Life. And it's not somebody else's life. The worst thing we can do in the world is compare ourselves to somebody else. And I fall guilty of it. I think everybody does. It's very easy to do. Oh my gosh, anywhere to your looks, to your grades, to your talent, to your children. Everything is a comparison, and think about what freedom it would be to let that comparison go. Well, good news. Actually, that is just what we need to do. Because by letting all of that go, then we become a true individual, the person that we are, that nobody else is. In fact, I had an opportunity the other day to use this example, and I was speaking with someone on the phone. I can't remember what was going on, but I don't like to tell people that I'm using assistance or having difficulty walking right now. But I thought I need to let that go. It is what it is. It is part of me. It's who I am at this moment. Hopefully it won't be forever, but it is at this moment. And so it was so freeing to just say, I am having trouble with mobility, so I can't do this or that. And where before I'd try to hide it, and it takes so much effort, so much energy to try to hide things. But worse than that is when we compare our outer person to others, to what they look like. And the truth is, in finding true health, true happiness, and truly who you are, it comes down to what goes on the inside. Have you ever noticed, I've had this happen to me, and I assume most of you have also. I've met someone that I was attracted to. They were very nice looking. But when you spend time with them, there's just nothing there. They're void of confidence. They're void of being humorous. They're void of all the things that make a person a real attractive person. And that's getting back to the attractiveness is on the inside. It's how you feel about yourself. It's your confidence. It's your happiness. It's your joy. It's what you bring to the party in terms of happiness, inspiration. I was talking to a girlfriend yesterday, and I was telling her I had a conversation with someone else, with a third party, who was very critical to me, and I don't understand why. And we both agreed that we don't need those kind of people in our lives anymore. We don't need toxic people. We want to be built up, but you have to be able to build yourself up. And then you kind of gravitate, and it's kind of a magnetic force that brings you toward other people who will build you up, who inspire you. But the main thing is that you give it to yourself. So the most important thing, I don't care how many social media pictures you look at, magazines, television shows, movies, the most important thing is what goes on the inside. I mean, you can look wonderful, and yes, you may turn some heads, but does that bring you any more happiness? And if you haven't been there, I'll tell you right now, it does not. It's when somebody likes you for who you are, to where you can let the inside show on the outside, then that's a real relationship. That's a real conversation. That is sharing real joy, is when, first of all, when you're feeling happy within yourself. That's a minute to minute, second to second thing. I mean, if you compare yourself to other people, you won't have that joy because you never live up to what you think somebody else is. And it's usually, I would say 100% of the time, not what you think anyway. It doesn't matter if you're short, tall, fat, skinny. None of that matters because you may think it matters. You may think it matters to people who see you. But what matters the most is that you've done the work on the inside. You need to get your mind focused in a direction where it can find happiness, where you feel good, where you feel content with who you are, with the people around you, with the situation you're in. And what's really interesting about all of this is once you get your insides in the right direction where they should be, to where you're happy, where you're confident, where you're walking in contentment, basically, then, interestingly enough, then you have more of a desire to take care of your outside. You have the energy, you have the want to start these exercises, to do everything you can do to be your best on the outside. But you have to feel it on the inside first. I want to share with you what happened to me just yesterday. As a matter of fact, I had a physical therapist come over and she wanted me to practice walking. So she got a pair of shoes out of my closet and my foot wouldn't go in. I retained so much water. I mean, I know it sounds funny, but I said, I think I need to wear the shoe box instead of the shoe. And I didn't know what in the world happened. So I immediately thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to change this. I'm going to change that. I'm going to stop eating salt. I'm going to do this, do that, put my legs up, turn the heat down, turn the air on. I was thinking of everything I could do to make this change. But then I noticed it started to wear on me that I was making these changes. And then I realized and I remembered that I am right where I'm supposed to be. God has put me where I'm supposed to be. And the common sense things, yes, I shouldn't probably have so many frappuccinos or whatever. So much salt, yeah, that's all true. But I don't need to make a drastic change because I am right where I am supposed to be in life. Even with these mobility problems, I have probably never been happier. And one of the reasons is I get to sit here and share all of this because, people, this is real stuff that goes on. We're not a cover of a magazine. Our faces are not airbrushed. We are who we are. We are human beings. But to be truly happy is to get your mind in the direction and take the steps necessary. And there's so many little tweaks and adjustments you can make. But for the sake of this podcast, the biggest one that we're going to talk about right now is don't compare yourself, because that will make you a miserable person because you're comparing yourself to an imagination. I used to think about this family that lived kind of near me, and they were always having parties, and I thought, oh my gosh, that looks so fun, that they're always doing such fun things, and there was so many people over all the time. And when I got into my quiet state, this little inspiration type voice came to me and said, it's not what you think. And then as I got to know the family a bit better, it was not at all what I think. So I'm telling you, comparing yourself is dangerous because You're comparing yourself to what you imagine they are. Your imagination portrayed some scenario, and there's no way you can live up to your imagination in terms of trying to think of how wonderful things are when that's not even reality, that's not even life. But the big picture is you should not be comparing yourself at all because you are you. There's only one of you. You are an individual. You are perfect the way you are. And the biggest goal that we all have and should have is happiness, not whether our lips look plump or our hair looks beautiful. Yes, we need to take care of ourselves. And you will always want to be the best you can be. You should look the best that you can look. But that's not what you as an individual are about. What you're about is what goes on the inside. It starts with you taking care of you, loving you, accepting you for who you are, being your best self, living your best life. And to live your best life, you have to really celebrate who you are. And the steps that you take to better yourself, you do it for you. You don't do it for someone else. Don't do it to impress anybody else. To sum up what we've talked about today is you are you from the inside out, not the outside in. Taking care of your mind. Feel happy with who you are. Feel content. Even when you're home alone, feel content because you like you. And there is only one of you. And make yourself the best that you can be in terms of starting on the inside. And it does start with happiness because when you're happy, then you are motivated to move on and to take steps to do external things and make yourself externally the best it can be. But it does start with the inside. And with that, I say God bless you. I will talk to you next week. Celebrate you. Bye-bye.